Good morning, everybody. It is Wanda here again to share with you today's tarot. Welcome those of you who are in Australia, America, and the UK, and of course, can't forget Asia. It is so really wonderful to be able to serve you daily, well, anyway, Monday to Friday anyway, with a wonderful reading that helps you with your life and also sustains you, inspires you, and helps you get into your lane and stay there with full speed ahead. What are your plans for today? Today is Friday here in Sydney, Kiama, New South Wales. We have a little bit of sun today. We've had a lot of rain and thunder, but look, I'm not complaining because I have a lot of work that I am doing at the moment. So for me, I'm in gratitude of that because it gives me time to get a few things sorted. While I'm shuffling the cards, yesterday I shared with you a very emotional me about what has been happening with me and lots of other people, and I know that you have shared yourself what's been going on with you and with the feelings that we've been having in this ascension process. Now what I also wanted to talk to you about today is that in this time of ascension process, our nerves and our mind can be absolutely working against us. Now, whatever our thoughts are, as you know, they affect our emotions. Our emotions affect our nervous system, right? So if we are finding that we are in a space of overwhelm or we want to cry, then to stop the overwhelm is something I'm going to have a quick chat with you about today. But with regards to the emotions that come up, please do not try to push them away. We have been trained and programmed to push our emotions away. That is the old paradigm. That's what they call it, the old paradigm, for those of you who are not familiar with the wording related to the spirituality right now. So the old program sort of taught us, right, you know, don't feel that, right, get on with it, go ahead, keep moving. But that is actually not the way to process this anymore. So if for any unknown reason an emotion comes up, whether it be happy or misery, or happy and joyful feelings, you want to stay with those. But I'm talking about the miserable ones, the ones that probably make you feel a bit depressed, or suddenly you realise you're feeling a bit down. Go inward. Hello, everybody has jumped on, and welcome. I'm so glad that you are with me this morning. Where was I? Every time I look over there, I lose track. So do one thing. So when your emotions come up and you have that feeling of anger, resentment, you feel shitty, you know, you want to bite somebody's head off, just be very present to that. And where is it in your body? Okay, so it could be in your heart, it could be down in the pits of your tummy, or way down in your womb. As a woman, I'm talking about. It could be maybe on your back or in your head and your neck. So wherever that feeling is, just be very present to it, like you're watching it, like you're an outside observer watching the emotion, and feel the feeling. Because this is what will happen. If you feel the feeling and let go of the resistance, and you'll notice that that feeling will slowly lose its energy. That could take anything from 1 minute to 5 minutes. It all just depends on how much is there, okay? And here's what will happen, and here's what has been happening with these emotions that we've had. So we've had this anger and we've repressed it. More anger, repression. And so what we've ended up are like all these layers of repression. Does that make sense? So, and then when you go to release something, well, maybe you might get rid of that much. And then the emotion might come up again in another spot in your body or in the same spot. And that time you might get rid of that much. And then later on down the track and you're feeling okay and something else comes up that triggers you and you feel that resentment again. And this time, if you sit with it, you might get rid of maybe double that much this time. And so we're slowly peeling away the layers of that feeling until there's no attachment to that whatsoever. And basically what you're doing then is you are letting go of the idea of resistance or resentment, right? And what happens is something else in your life comes up, and guess what? There's nothing there and there's no attachment to it anymore. And so therefore there's no trigger anymore. And so that's how we can have control of our own healing process, right? So even if it's anger, the same thing. So you've got all these layers of anger, and then you feel the feeling and a little bit goes, and you feel the feeling next time and a little bit more goes, until there's nothing left, until you can be, you know, faced with things that used to be triggering you, but they will not trigger you to that severity anymore because you're done. You know, you've sorted that out. I hope that makes sense, that little demonstration. So this is what I want to quickly talk to you about today, because I've ended up talking about that. Sometimes, you know, when I'm in flow, I have to talk about what comes out. All right, so today I'm quickly talking about do one thing at a time. Now, this is what creates our overwhelm. I have a monkey mind. Like, I've got several monkeys. As a matter of fact, I've got the whole monkey forest in my head. Yes, I really do. And I notice it when I'm trying to meditate, because my mind is such a clever bugger that he will then get me to scratch my arm when I'm trying to focus, or I get an itchy nose, or I'm focused on my breathing and all of a sudden I can't feel myself breathing. Insane. The mind is so clever to be able to get you away from getting to that deep source. Now, for some of you, it might be very easy, but I'm telling you, meditation for me is a little bit of a struggle, and I'm not trying to look at it that way. And why am I talking about meditation right now? Because my working life is the same. So when I go to work and I'm sitting in front of here and I've got things to do, bring on the monkey forest. And I get the chatter and, oh, you haven't done that, you better do this. And I'm trying to focus on one thing and then I get distracted. So my next mantra is I'm doing one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I used to think that doing 6 things at a time, I was superwoman. But I had created a really destructive habit, because inside that habitual thinking, I can do 6 things at a time, like put the washing on, cook, you know, go to the computer, take a phone call, say hello to the postman while I'm at it. And I used to think I was superwoman, and that is just ridiculous. I did that for years, and I'm not doing it. I just choose not to do that anymore. I'm going to do one thing at a time, and that one thing that I do, I'm doing well. And it took me to understand that by having my own business, that there is power in doing one thing at a time. So that is my good news for you today. Whatever you're doing today, wherever you're going, one thing at a time, get that done, whether it takes 5 minutes or 5 hours, prioritize, and then do the next thing. Oh man, it's so much peaceful. And that monkey chatter, those monkeys are somewhere locked up in a silent room, and they don't bother you because you're doing one thing at a time. And now I'm going to do the reading for you today. Oh, welcome everybody. Hello. Hello, Stephen. How are you, dolls? There's Carolyn there. I just saw your name, Cynthia. Fiona. Hi, Fiona. How are you, darling? I hope you're well. I haven't heard from you for ages. I hope you're okay. And Raj, welcome, Raj. Belinda, hey, you back from Melbourne? Or are you still there? Pauline, welcome. Arlene, Michael. Oh, you know what? It is so cool. Welcome all you wonderful masculine kings. I love you. That is awesome. I love it. I love the balance of male and female. And Kalisha, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so let us for today give up the superwoman cape and the superman cape, and let's just beautifully be ourselves, doing one thing at a time with perfect flow and alignment, and wait and see what comes up with these cards. This is Friday's card, and I promised you yesterday that I will read another card from the Celtic tradition. Are any of you here online right now related or have any connections to the Celtic tradition? So I'll be doing that today too. This flew out, but it didn't show me itself, so I'll continue in a minute. I now give myself permission. I now give myself full permission to be focused on one thing at a time. How's that? Write that down. I now give myself permission. I now give myself full permission to do one thing at a time. Whoa, the Eight of Cups. What is this all about? Now, as we know, cups are about the emotions. And here is the Eight. The Eight is about power. When you turn the Eight up on its side, what is it? It is the symbol of the infinity, that anything is possible. And this is where the power is. The Eight of Cups in a usual deck is known as the happiness card. Now, here you have all these cups near the water. They're all sitting up, and this guy is walking away. He's walking up a hill there. Can you see that? Usually in tarot cards, water and the moon are very present when it comes to the hearts or the cups, because they're connected to the emotions, okay? So that's sort of like the ancient symbology around cards. Now, what is this card saying for you today? The card is saying for you to walk away from things that no longer make you happy, all right? So if we're talking about the superwoman or the superman analogy, if that is really stressing you out, go to one thing. If there is someone who's being an emotional vampire around you, right, they suck up your energy, let them go. Now, how do you do that? Because you can't just, you might feel really bad and go, oh, look, sorry, I'm so sick. You know what? When you've got an energy vampire around you, don't look them in the eye. Because when you look them in the eye, that's where they suck out your energy. Did you know that? Your eyes are very, very powerful. More powerful than what you realize, because your eyes unconsciously to you program and take in 60, 70, 80,000 bits of information per second. Did you know that? So if you've got an emotional vampire and they're wasting your time, or they're sucking you dry, don't look them in the eye. Keep your eyes a little bit down and maybe looking around their head, but not in their eyeballs. Okay, don't eyeball them. Okay, and then you might need to put your hand here and say, look, excuse me, darling, I don't mean to be rude. Don't look them in the eye, because they've already sucked you dry in that second. Okay, so what you need to do is probably look to the side of them and go, look, darling, I'm really sorry, I need to do a few things. I'll catch up with you later. Because you need to be aware of that. Now, if that's the case with you today, know that you have got undefined boundaries. Okay, so you need to, and that boundary is usually, I don't deserve attention, and I do not love myself enough. So you've got to hone that in, bring it in. All right, particularly with energy vampires. Now, are energy vampires bad people? No, absolutely not. They're just very needy, right? And they won't listen to anybody either, because energy vampires are usually the personality type where they're constantly seeking gratification, and they need your energy to exist, and other people's energy to exist, because they have a very deep insecurity and such a deep lack of love. So unless they're willing to work with you, or unless they're willing to listen, then that is a very helpful thing. But if they're not, then it's best just to keep away from them until you get your own boundaries sorted out, where you can actually look at them and then push that energy away from your energy field. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So that is happening. Look, you might have a parent, a brother or a sister, a really good friend. Usually it's a family member that is like this. So that is it. Or maybe you might be like this. Maybe what I'm talking about is resonating with you. Comment in the comments box if what I'm talking about makes sense to you today. Are you coming into, are you meeting up with someone who's an energy vampire? But primarily it is the happiness card. Sometimes we need to walk away from certain issues or certain things in our life to find our happiness. And I know that some of you right now are struggling with that. You do not need family approval to do what you need to do. It is your life. It is not selfish. And you need to get out there and find what it is, what your calling is, and what you do. And your family are coming from a space of love when they say these things, but they're also coming from a space of their own reality, right? Their own reality. They don't know what else is out there. So you can't go on a barrage of going, oh, my family are this and my family are that. Ignore it. Do what you need to do. Don't ask for their approval then. Go and do what you need to do. I'm going to try to upload a video to my page sometime in the next hour about a beautiful young girl who lived in Sweden, and she gave up her college degree, she gave up everything and went to live in the woods because that is what her heart desired. And everyone was saying to her, no, don't do that. And she did it. Now she's become a very famous blogger and photographer. And she lived in this tiny little cabin in the woods for 2 years on her own. And she gave her soul an opportunity to find itself away from the mentalness of living in a city. Now, for her, that did not suit her. For some of you who live in a city, that's perfectly fine. Does that, am I making sense? I'll put that up, and I'll put in tarot group, like Hello My Tarot friends. Have a look at this beautiful, beautiful, brought tears to my eyes. I'm very teary these days anyway. Okay, so who am I going to read for today? Okay, so these are the angel cards, and oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got a lot of people on today this morning. Hello everybody who's joined in, and there's someone here whose name I haven't seen before, and it's is it Angeli Dubois, or have I pronounced that properly? A-N-G-E-L-E, Angela or Angel? I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I shouldn't even be saying that. Here I go. This is for you, and we all know that this card that I'm taking is not only for you, darling, but it's for all of us on right now. And here it is. Oops, hang on a second. All right, here it is. The angel, the archangel of guidance. And the archangel of guidance is Archangel Gabriel. He's actually the messenger, and the story of, you know, he's the actual angel who delivered a message to young Mary in that story, the Christian story of before the birth of Jesus, when he went to Mary and goes, hello, darling, you know, you're going to be impregnated with Jesus very soon, and this is the gift from God. So that Archangel Gabriel very often is around to give us the messages that we need. And this is the message he's giving us today, that you stay on your soul path. Listen to the stirrings of your soul, as quiet as that voice might be. and just let that beautiful voice talk to you so that you can truly, you know, immerse yourself in the message, and then say, I'm not hearing you quite well. I know I have to do something, but I'm not entirely sure what that is. Please give me more guidance on that one. It's also for you, Angel, or Angela, also that you'll be moving house. So some of you, it looks like you'll be moving. When it's moving house, it can mean several things. Moving house could actually mean physically moving house. It could also physically mean moving country, but it can also mean shifting from your reality. So the old you is being now changed to a new you coming in, especially with this rebirthing process, which I discussed on yesterday's tarot call. Does that make sense? So it can mean the moving house. If you're dreaming of houses at night, that is you moving into different dimensions of your own vibration, of your own frequency, okay? And if you're dreaming of houses in the future, that is actually you. The house is always, or a car in a dream always represents you, okay? And the focus for today's card, the message is focus, is about focusing and doing that one thing. I hope this makes sense. And one more card today, because I've got these two, walking away from energy vampires and focusing on you, your soul part, that focus idea. Here are the mythical oracle cards. Now, I'm not very familiar with them, so I might have to read it. Please, God, give me one that's on the first page so that I won't hold you up too long. Okay, so here we are. What one am I going? This is for everybody. Okay, wow, look at this. Okay, it is Hecate. Hecate there, she's one of those goddesses from the past, related to the triple goddesses, those goddesses from that Celtic culture. And the card is about the crossroads. Now, what does that mean? Crossroads means now that you have a choice. You have a choice to make a decision about where you're going to go in your life, right? And you must give yourself that opportunity for that choice. Now, I'm just having a look to see where Hecate might be, because this book is like all over the place. Hang on a sec, bear with me. Just got to find her. It doesn't have even a, hang on a minute. I really like these cards actually, but every time I'm doing a reading with them, oh, here we are. The message of the crossroads. If you're drawn to this card, or if it shows up, a major life-changing crossroads is coming towards you. So she beckons you. So Hecate is like a witch. She's a goddess, right? She is beckoning you to choose. You've got to choose which direction you're going to go. You must make that decision. Change is inevitable, but the direction of change is completely up to you. She's calling you to be untamed and wild. Untamed and wild. That means take a risk. All right, take a risk. And you must follow the deepest callings. What was I talking about just then? All right, you know inside the decision you must make, and it will probably be very terrifying to you. Like what I'm doing right now is very terrifying to me too. I've got a big decision. Well, I've made the decision, and it's a higher calling. And so like that young girl in Sweden that I was talking about today, who moved away from her family, her courses, her everything, and she moved into a space completely on her own in a little hut. And I think her biggest struggle was that the snow was like 1 meter high. She had to walk through this snow on her own to collect wood and everything. And she did that for 2 years before she sorted out how she was going to have this little cabin functional. And she talks about that in her video. And I will do my very best to try to put it up today so that you can have a listen to her story. It's very inspiring. Maybe her story may inspire you to take on the message of what Hecate is saying today, that a choice, a decision is needed by you, and you need to do it from your soul's calling. And the last sentence in this particular message is, do not be afraid of what you feel deep inside. Follow that inner wisdom and let it lead you to your destiny. Isn't that beautiful? So we've got the beautiful Hecate here, and we have got today keeping away from energy vampires, and the last one is listening to that inner voice that you have got change. I hope that has helped. You see how everything is in alignment from 3 pack of cards, and you get a very similar message. Guys, that's it for this for today, and this will be the energy of the weekend too. Let me know whether this resonates with you and what plans you have for you. And this is the reason why I read your messages, but when you type something in the comments box right now as you're feeling it, that not only reinforces your understanding and your learning of it, as Eric Ho would say, it also projects out to the future that you are ready to take that risk, or you are ready to take that next step for the changes in your life, whatever they might be. And thank you to all the guys who've been on today. I appreciate it. We love it. Feminine and masculine energy, beautiful. In the meantime, guys, moving my cards away so I can turn the computer off. I will see you later. Have a really great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye for now.